In this video, I will be showing you how to use variables in Gravity. Variables are a way of automating your numbers so that, for example, in a budget summary, you would not have to go through and update the current year every single time you roll your report forward. Rather, with one click, you would be able to move all of your current years forward to the next year and not have to type or copy-paste any numbers. We're going to start by creating a variable. In your report, you will always have a periods template and a variables dashboard. For the purpose of this video, we will show you the period template. In the period template, we would have all of our years, our current years +1, -1, -3, our fiscal year, for example. To create a variable, we're going to click on this 2025, click on Extensions, Gravity Sheets Add-on, Variables, Copy Create. In this menu, we will be able to name the variable, which we're just going to call current year, and give a description. Click OK. This will create the variable, and here in the bottom right, we see that we have copied the variable. For instance, if we clicked on Finance Division and the mission statement, we see here that we have a lot of 2024s, a 2023. We wouldn't want this to be spelled out every single time. So instead, what we're going to do is get rid of this 2024, add a space, click on Extensions, Gravity Editor Add-ons, Variables, Paste. This will now paste this variable in place, and we see that it is yellow highlighted. This means that it is a destination variable. Destination variables are a variable that will update upon editing of the source variable. Now we could go through this and add a couple other things. It's important to remember that we cannot add a variable in between two characters. Rather, we need to add the variable between two spaces. Extensions again, paste. One thing that's important to note is we have to follow a specific procedure to delete variables. If we want to delete a variable, we have to select the entire yellow highlighting or the entire variable, click on Extensions, Gravity Editor Add-on, Variables, Delete. This is the only way to delete a variable. Failure to do so will result in the variable being broken and thus unable to be edited. If we wanted to see how a variable was functioning, however, what we could do, if we click on the variable, click on Extensions, Gravity Editor Add-on, Variable, go to Source, we will be brought to the page where our variable is created, which was the periods table as we had done. This is an important way to see which variable you are using. Another way to create a variable is by using the variable panel. We saw in the last document a CY-1 that we could have edited. In this case, we'll click on Extensions, Gravity Sheets Add-on, Show Variable Panel. The variable panel will load on the right. The variable panel gives us a lot more information. Here we see we have two tabs, the Import and Review tab. The Import tab shows us all of the variables in our environment. We see we have all sorts of variables here, including some test variables that have nothing to do with the current budget book quarterly that we're working on. We could then, if we wanted to insert a variable, say this PY, we could click on it and click on this little arrow here to insert the variable in this spot. Alternatively, in the Review tab, we see all of the variables that we are using in this object. We see here that this arrow pointing up is your source variable, and this graph pointing up is a target variable. In this Variables panel, we can click on these three lines and click Show Variable, and after a short while, the highlighting for where variables are will appear. To create a variable in the variable panel, we can simply click on the variable we want to create, click on these three dots, then click Create Variable, and the same type of menu will appear. Here we call it CY-1, CY-1, click OK. And now we see if we click on the Review tab that we have now created the CY-1 in our mission statement and add this variable here. So we're going to delete this 2023, click on Extensions, Gravity Editor Add-on, Show Variables panel. We're going to search the variables for CY-1, click here, and click Import. Now we have added the variables. If we click on the review panel, we see here we've only added cy minus 1, but we know in fact that this variable is here. To refresh this, we click on the 3 lines and refresh all. And there we have all of our variables. To refresh all variables in the report, however, we would click on Data and then Refresh Variables. Now you have all the knowledge needed to succeed using variables and their automating power in Gravity.